You all have probably heard of vision boards, but have you heard of memory boards and presence boards? These are concepts that I made up to demonstrate and practice the relationships that we have with the variability of the aspects of our past, present, and future. So vision boards as a concept is where you paste a bunch of pictures that represent the nature of reality that you wish to step forward into. And that is awesome. The most important part of a vision board is that you really have that feeling state connected with those pictures, which is why attaining pictures from magazines or wherever does help a lot of people. It's absolutely not necessary. I've actually only made 2 versions of vision boards in my life, and actually one was a memory board and one was a presence board. And then I had to you display them to the group that you're doing them with, and I had to explain to them why I made a memory board instead of a vision board. So I'm gonna explain it to you now. So a memory board, so back to the vision board, I'm getting ahead of myself. The vision board, the pictures represent the car or the house or the dream, whatever that is. And then the way that it works is that you attune your feeling state to what you are seeing, and then you walk forward into this electromagnetic reality that we experience as physical life with an attunement that is vibrating from your heart center, your emotional center, and that emotional center is vibrating out frequencies into this electromagnetic frequencies out into this electromagnetic reality. And not only are you more capable of perceiving what you put on the board because you are attuned to that in every situation that you are in, but you are also attracting and recognizing the directions to achieve more and more of this feeling state. And that essentially, in a few sentences, is how a vision board works. Now, why is it important to also practice the concept of a memory board, either where you actually are making a physical board or just restructuring it non-physically within your being, and a presence board? Now, a memory board is taking the memories that you have of the past. The past is no longer existing, right? In this physical reality, you are experiencing the present. You're taking the concepts, the analogies, the reactions, the stories that you have of the past, and you're just like the vision board with the future. You are, what's the right word? You are embodying the feeling states that you, I'll use the word, desire the most about the past. So even if the past mentally you're not liking it, the purpose of a memory board is to bring your highest state of being into what you remember. When you become one with, that's what that word remember means. When you become one with your image of the past, choose to be the highest vibrational state with that. So write the story, spell out the story, envision the story in a memory board of your perfect past. Why is that important? Because the past is no longer here. Your attachment to the stories of it, if there is pain, if there is darkness, if there is emptiness in that, we can usually see, hindsight is 20/20, right? We can usually see that what we thought was a disservice to ourselves, what we thought was a trauma, even if experienced presently traumatically, we might as well rewrite it. Rewrite the fantasy past that you either wish you had, and if you can really get on board with the fact that the past doesn't exist and all we have is the present, then you can completely rewrite it and actually harmonize to that past that you have recreated. And then once again, like the vision board, you step into reality with a stronger vibration, a stronger perception of what you're experiencing in this reality. Imagine life is like you're on a rocket ship and you're traveling through realities. And that rocket ship, that launch pad, most people feel like that launch pad starts when you're born. And you're experiencing all these different stories of life. And that rocket ship is going in the trajectory based on the trajectory that you've lived. And that's not quite true. The launch pad is now. So it doesn't really matter what your past has been. You can, if you are willing to let go of the stories of the past, that launch pad moves to now, and you can take your state of being with you into reality. Right now, we are all experiencing reality, completely the same reality. And you can look around. Some people are happy, some people are sad, some people are depressed, some people are confused, some people are ecstatic, some people are in love with it all. How can that be? There's a story, I don't know the exact details of the story or if it's even real. I'm assuming it was based on reality sometime in the, I should know this part, 1200s, 1600s, 1700s, a long time ago. Cathedral in London burnt down, and the architect that was designing it, the new one, was going around and he was looking at his bricklayers, and he approached 3 different bricklayers. One was like hunched over doing his job. The second one was kind of like standing up a little bit more upright, doing his job very quickly. And then there's one very confident looking, standing tall, performing the best of them all. And he asked the first one, he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he said, "I'm laying bricks." Then he asked the second one, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a wall." And then he asked the third one, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm a cathedral builder. I'm building a place of worship where people can be one with God." With, you know, that's the stories that they tell themselves. The first person was just doing a job, right? And there's no purpose there, right? The second person doing the same exact task is a little bit further ahead, right? He understands that every brick he lays is eventually going to be a wall. But the third person knows that those walls are eventually going to be a cathedral, and people are going to come do a very important task. It's going to, essentially, what he's doing is shaping the lives of hundreds of thousands or millions of people. And that's the purpose that he assigned to that task. And that brings us into the third thing I mentioned, which is a presence board. So you can see that these analogies, we can reshape what we experienced as a past, right? Now that you're older, now that you have free will a little bit more because you understand the amount of choice that we really have in this life, the amount of choice for our feeling states of the dramas that we went through, that we all went through in our life, you can go back and redesign how you felt about them now, currently. Go back, redesign, make a memory board, make it as grand as you can, and release the rest. There's like, why are we we're dragging that story so that our rocket ship continues going, you know, with that baggage? Release that all, bring the launch pad up, and rocket ship from this moment based on your highest vibrational choice. Presence board. Look around in your life. Which bricklayer are you? Okay, let's say we've got a job to do. Are we just doing the job? Are we just the janitor? Or are we saving lives? Are we actually saving the lives of children so that they can grow up and be successful contributions to society because you're cleaning up the mess that could eventually lead to their demise? Are you in a relationship, or are you practicing the skill of relationship so that whoever you end up with or whomever you end up with, you will be the best version of self because you're within the relationship that you're in right now? You are practicing the skill of relationship. So a presence board is very important, either to write down, to visualize with pictures, or to just be. Everything in your life How can we embrace it and tell ourselves the highest story within that? Because the reason why when I was asked to make vision boards, I didn't follow the rules is because for me, focusing on the finish line didn't seem as efficient, right? The future hasn't existed yet. The future will be here in the present moment, within the ever-changing present. The presence is all, right? So presently, let's rewrite the past, and presently, let's vibrate with the emotional states. Now, I keep on saying vibrate and emotional. What does that mean? Well, we've got three brains essentially. There's a brain in our gut, there's a brain in our heart, and there's a brain in our head. And when I say brain, I mean literal brains. The same neurons that are in our head are in our heart and are also in our gut, and these are all communicating. So the mind is very analytical, and it's a lot based on the safety of our physical body, because the brain is a function of this physical body. And then our heart actually extends outside of our physical body. It has an electromagnetic field, and that field is interacting with all of the other electromagnetic fields, the fields in the plants, the fields in the people, the fields in the nature of reality. Like there's the nature of physical reality is an electromagnetic field. And so our heart is playing within that. And emotions are the language of the heart. And so as we reattune our emotional body, and as we assign a state of being, like a default setting, you choose that. You choose whether you're going to be sad or depressed or happy. In every situation, you choose the amount of variability, the amount of flux, right? You choose the amount of flux that you're willing to go in every situation, and you then experience that within the interactions of the field. And so the presence board really lays out what you are attuned to in what you are currently doing, so that you can practice when those things vary, when the situations vary in your present, the ever-present moment of now. When the variability is experienced, you have a framework for which you are tuned to experience, perceive, and be within that. And that's the paradox of all of this, is like, is it an external experience, meaning external events are impacting us, which we feel internal, or are we internally affecting what is external? That's the conundrum that we get to ponder and be within in this earthly life. And if any of you are watching this from outside of Earth, hit me up. I'd like to collab later.